viewers. I wanted to show you what I'm doing with the, well, at least the first thing I'm doing with the Sycamore that Pat gave us. And so I've got it mounted on the lathe and have already done a lot of work on it. But I'm getting ready to start the hollowing process and want to show you the setup and everything. Okay, here it is, mounted on the lathe, and you'll notice that if I can get it in the video, that I've got the headstock pushed all the way down to the end of the ways on my lathe, and this is usually where the headstock is mounted, and I pushed it on down to the end so that I can do the hollowing. It's a lot easier to do the hollowing off the end of the lathe. Maybe you can see that I'm at the end of the lathe there. Anyway, so I'm going to do a little bit of hollowing so you'll see what it's like. And so I'm going to put you in my on my tripod. Okay, there we go. Now this is my hollowing rig, and you can tell that it's somewhat jury-rigged, but it gets the job done. I've got a piece of second. Maybe it'll focus for you. It's a piece of oh, what do they call it? Well, I can't think of it. Anyway, that's how it's mounted, and I'll show you how I made this thing some other time. Let's get started on the hollowing. The name of the steel that I've got on this end here, that I've put in with a set screw. It's high-speed steel, and it holds its edge for a long time. And we'll talk more about that whenever I get to how I made the biggest part of my tools. Now I've got to clear the inside of all the shavings that I made in the process of this hollowing. And evidently I've pushed my headstock up too tightly against this, because I'm not going to be able to swing the tool rest out. So I'm going to pull the head back so that I can clear. Okay. Okay, now that'll clear, and I can still work from the end of the lathe. This again is one of my creations for tools. It's for clearing the shavings out of a hollow form. Now I drilled a hole in here to begin with a Forstner bit, and drilled it all the way to the base of it, as far as I wanted to go. And this gave me room enough to get in there with this tool rest and to begin to hollow out around the shoulders of the vessel. Now, one of the things you need to do when you're hollowing is to find out how far you need to run your tool in before it starts expanding to the big side of the big part of the vessel. And it looks like right at the transition from the ferrule here to the wooden handle is about the right length to really start hollowing. So I'll just remember that, and as I begin to hollow this, I have a means by which I measure the excuse me for bumping the camera all the time. Not much room in the turning room here. But I've got this outfit that I can use for measuring how deep everything is. And maybe I can use this, maybe I can't. If I have to make a new one, then okay, because it doesn't cost a whole lot to make something like this. And I can tell right now that I can't reach, I haven't come out very far on the base of the vessel. So I've got a lot of hollowing to do. So here we go again. part because there's not very much room for the shavings, because it's filled up with the tool rest and the tool that's doing the cutting. So there's a lot of moving the shavings out. A long blowgun snout here is really a good thing for this kind of work, but it makes a lot of sawdust. You don't want to always breathe that sawdust stuff. This one's nice in that it can be extended. This is going to be a long process, and I'll not take you through the whole thing. So I'll be back whenever it's been completely hollowed out. It's just a rough turn, so I'm not going to do any finish on it. Okay, there it is. I completed the hollowing. Rough hollowing anyway, and but I had to build another tool to get it done. Let me show you that. This is the tool that I used to do the initial hollowing, and if I go down to the ferrule, you notice that I just barely get down to the shoulder on the vessel. So I had to build another tool, and I'll show you the new tool. This is a tall thing. It's probably 3 feet long, and the end is got a carbide tip on it. Let's see if I can get that in focus for you. It's a square carbide tip, and it's bolted onto a round rod screwed onto it, and that allowed me to hollow the remainder of the vessel. If you'll notice, I could go right to the bottom all the way up to an excessive amount for a handle, but I just used the the rod rather than having a wooden handle on it. I have plans in the future for this this tool, and it will do deep hollowing in larger vessels in the future. In fact, the next one I've got already planned out here. Got the outside turned, but still need to turn the inside. And this is, if I can get it here so we can look at it. This is a vessel that's very a floor vase. Let's set it beside it. Slightly taller than the one I just finished with. I have the ruler right here. We can see how big it is. Yeah, I'm a mess. I haven't got it all put together yet. So we're running right at 17 3/4 tall. The one I just finished with, well, finished turned. It's about 16 3/4. But anyway, this new tool allows me to turn large or deep bowls or vessels, and I have several different shapes of carbide tools. That's a carbide tool there that you see on the end, the cutting tool. They stay sharp a lot longer, and they're easier to use. All right, and I've had this vessel in my kiln, and it's down to about 27% moisture right now, and that's the whole reason for the wrap. Is, as you see, the plastic wrap is I don't want moisture to come out of these flanges very fast because of the orientation. The end grain loses its moisture quicker than side grain. So the side grain is not wrapped, and there's not much of it here to lose the moisture. But also the inside of the vessel is where you want to lose your moisture from if you can. And so when I wrap this, the top flange, I also turned a little device, jig it might be, so that whenever I wrap the mouth of the vase, that I could use this to push the plastic wrap down in against the inside so that it didn't lose moisture there too much. And so the inside is where it's primarily losing this moisture, and through the neck here. Now the kiln is just a refrigerator, and I'll give more details as time goes along. And it exchanges air as the air gets saturated, and I have control here that tells me, like right now, the bottom number is the temperature inside the shop here, which is cold, at 35% moisture, and inside is 74 at 24%. So I have 11% lower moisture inside because of the raising its temperature. And I'll get to that and how that all works at a later time. I just wanted you to see where I was on the Sycamore vessel that I had turned, and I'll try to keep everybody up on how long it takes for that kiln to dry that that vessel. All right, that's pretty much it for now, and I guess we'll talk at you another time.